Hey, so welcome and happy new moon. I know it's almost evening for some of us, or very much so evening. So hopefully your day went well. It's been a practice of mine to kind of watch the moon cycle for ever since I really started practicing Ashtanga, because we take off the new moon and the full moon. And so it became curious to me about the moon. And it really didn't become that curious until that time when I started practicing Ashtanga yoga every day. So when I was younger, I was not really into the moon medicine or the feminine cycle of when women menstruate, when it's normal. So it really became my yoga, which is kind of cool because yoga really wakes us up. That's what it's supposed to do. Um, so whatever I can do now to create a good energy for my new moon, I do it, because I have so much notice that if I have a bad day, things go poorly, my mind goes badly on new moon, it sets me up almost all the time for a rocky month ahead of myself. So it's good to plant seeds, and those seeds can be actual seeds, but really like seeds of the way we design ourselves to be. Like, I design myself to be a yoga teacher, Ayurvedic practitioner, somebody who's helping others. And I think we all want to help others. That's that kind of maybe a common bottom line for us. So, I'm just going to introduce a new seed syllable. And this seed syllable is, we'll just chant it first. So now you're going to be on mute. We'll chant Om, and then we'll chant the seed syllable Shreem. And that's on your handout. Shreem should be chanted like a river or like a waterway. And it should be really kind of nice and pleasant to you. So we'll chant Om, Shreem 3 times, and then Om again. So sit back, sit up, sit open. Tune into the sound of your breath. Let your eyelids drop down, and also see if you can feel, as you drop your eyelids and you listen to your breath, that you're coming inside your skin, you're coming inside your being. And so we're chanting this mantra from inside out. Shreem, Shreem, Shreem. And then as you take your next breath in and out, see if you can hear that mantra in the sound of your breath. So we're planting that in a way with our mind when we listen for a mantra, and we're saying it inside the voice. So this mantra or seed syllable is the seed syllable for the lunar channel. It's also the seed syllable for Lakshmi. And generally, like, we could do this, 108 times or 10,008 times or many, many, many times. But the reason why we sometimes do 3 is because of time. Also because of, we are using, like when we say Shanti 3 times, it's a source of protection. And we're protecting ourselves from organic, inorganic, and environmental influences. So organic would be inside our own being, like the karmas, the negative karmas that we've created for ourselves, and through our different lives. And those are organic negative influences. Then like our neighbors or our friends or the people around us, if there's like a negative energy coming at us, one of those times we chant Shanti or Shreem is to protect us in that way. And then the third way is from like environmental hazards, or earthquakes or natural disasters, a tidal wave, whatever. So that's why we're always chanting Shanti 3 times. And if we're only going to, learn a mantra with each other, then, 3 times is quite nice. And it's also 3 times is the Trinity. And the preservation aspect of the Trinity is on the female, it's Lakshmi. And Lakshmi, there are many temples in India that are Lakshmi temples. And the reason is because she is the goddess that we pray to when we want to experience the energy within us of generosity, experience the energy in us that is like auspicious, experience the energy that is beautiful, that is all these really nice feminine traits. We pray to Lakshmi. And there, of course, like if you have a temple, you have an external Lakshmi, but especially in Hinduism and all these different deities, the idea is the deity lives inside of us as light. And so chanting that mantra helps to stimulate that light. So Shreem is also cooling because it is the lunar channel, and it has the sweet taste. So sweet taste is an energy that builds us, it nourishes us. And it's the most important taste in the 6 tastes of Ayurveda, the sweet taste. It's also for good fortune, auspiciousness. Auspiciousness in Sanskrit is mangalam. So to have auspiciousness in my life, right place, right time, right people, right energy, mangalam, auspiciousness. And it's also the mantra for the cosmic cow, which is in Sanskrit, kama denu. Kama means desire or wish, and denu means to give. So the cosmic cow, I think you all have, hopefully you saw the handout. There's a picture of the cosmic cow from a temple in Malaysia. And she has breasts, and she's a female, and she wears bracelets. And so it's called the cow that gives whatever you wish. And so the idea of the cow being feminine and coming from India is that it's this very generous energy. And like she gives her milk to others to be nourished. So the cow of plenty, it's also called. And this is also for, Shreem is also for wisdom and intuition. Again, feminine energies, and we all have masculine energies and we all have feminine energies. And it's not, the idea of Hatha Yoga is to balance those energies. I tend to be a little bit more sun energy. And so it's really nice for me to really latch on to these lunar practices. Okay, so the second mantra, let's go on to the second mantra, is Om Somaya Namaha. And Soma is said to be this substance that is enhanced by the rays of the moon, especially the full moon. Hence, there's this practice called full moon ghee, where you make your ghee on the full moon and then you set it out at night so the full moon can charge the substance. And I do this almost every full moon. Also, there are certain plants that receive these rays of the moonlight and are said to have auspicious and nutritious nourishment energies towards us. And I've given you guys some examples on that handout. But in the way back olden times, it was said that this soma was a real plant. And I really think that there's several real plants. And one of the plants that they said have soma is haritaki. Haritaki is one of the 3 fruits in Triphala. And so it's also a fruit that if you have a depiction of the medicine Buddha, he'll be holding haritaki in his hand. So triphala is seen to be as a substance that cleanses our GI tract, but also imparts ojas. Now, ojas is very similar to soma. Ojas in Ayurveda is the essential sap that we receive when our kapha dosha is balanced. So kapha means strength, sap, immunity, steadiness, stableness. Because I have a body, you can see I have kapha dosha. And it also represents when it's imbalanced, stuckness, laziness, greed. So there's these great things when kapha is balanced, and the essential aspect of kapha balanced is ojas. And then on a universal aspect or a cosmic aspect, that ojas is called soma. And its mother or its root is really the moon rays. So in our natural world, we have all these things taking us back to our own strength, immunity, creativity. So let's chant this the same way. We'll start with Om. We'll do the mantra. Well, the mantra has Om at the beginning. So we'll just do Om Som Somaya Namaha 3 times, and then we'll finish with 1 Om. Sit within yourself. Let your eyelids close. You could even picture the full moon if you're a visual person, or you could picture the full moon in your own body. Om Som Somaya Namaha. Om Som Somaya Namaha. Om Som Somaya Namaha. Om. Again, see if you can feel that the breath and the sound of the breath is continuing the chant. So that's called Manas mantra. When you're in a public place and you want to do your mantra and you're like a little bit, I don't really want to show my family my mantra or whomever you're with, you can do Manas mantra, mantra in the mind. And that's actually supposedly more subtle and more powerful. I like to do both. Okay, so we kind of went over what soma was. It is mythical and it is a reality depending on how you look at it, right? And that's how we change our worldview. Like if we focus on all the negativity, we will have a negative world. And so it's not like you want to disengage from suffering. You know, we have to, suffering is part of our lives, but we also want to, as much as we can, turn our minds towards the beauty and the myth and how I'm going to live that archetype in my system. The last mantra that we're going to chant tonight is a mantra that is got the word Chandra in it. This is called Chandra Seva. Chandra means moon in Sanskrit, and Chandra is also a deity in Sanskrit, and it's a male deity. Although I studied with an Indian who grew up in India and learned lots of Vedic practices, and that's Dr. Vasant Lad, and he always considered the moon female. So even though Chandra, the god, the deity, is male, when we imbibe the moon, we're imbibing feminine lunar qualities. So let's try. This one is a little longer. It's these bija syllables: shram, shreem, which we already have done, and shraum. Sa, chandraya, namaha. I hope everybody has their little chant sheet. Here we go. Sit within yourself. Let your skin and your nervous system relax into the earth. Om Shram Shrim Shram Sa Chandraya Namaha. Om Shram Shrim Shram Sa Chandraya Namaha. Om Shram Shrim Shram Sa Chandraya Namaha. Om. Let the breath turn into mantra as you listen to your own inhale and your own exhale. And this mantra is specifically for beauty. Beauty, bliss, exalted states of our body and mind. Try to just emanate this exalted, blissful state, even if it's for like a half a second. See if you can just feel what is bliss. Which reminds me of when I did study with Richard Freeman. He always used to talk about when we would practice the Ujjayi breath, to imagine that you're a wine connoisseur, and that the inhale is this, very, very special wine. And you can feel it in your palate, in your soft palate, and you can feel it go up to your brain. And I always loved that imagery. So the same thing, it's kind of like, we have to look for bliss within us. We can't imagine that bliss or beauty is somewhere else. Somebody else has it. It's from another Vedic time. It's not right now. We have to really want it and to manifest it. So the thing with beauty is it's not external. I mean, yes, beauty can be external, but I think when somebody is really beautiful, it's because that they're really extracting the beauty from life. I thought my dad was really beautiful, and he was very old and funny looking and scarred from all this skin cancer. But his soul was just seeking out the beauty and the zest of life. So I found him to be very beautiful. And I think we really need to do that within ourselves. We need to see ourselves as acting in a beautiful way. And so that whole circle or cycle or moon energy, which is a circle, feels complete. It's like the small SELF, self, and then the big SELF. It's all contained. So we have to kind of know we have a lot of work to do, but we're also already there. And to kind of feel both sides and the fullness of our being, and to not reject anything is good for beauty. So Ida is the left channel, the moon channel, and Pingala is the right channel or the sun channel. And it's seen as sun or Pingala as masculine, ha, and ta as feminine or lunar or moon. And we can think also like the feminine channel would be white, but it's also darkness because of the darkness of the night. And it's the yin energy in Chinese medicine. So the yin is moisture, it's fluids, it's fat, it's lubrication. Those are all Ida, the feminine channel. And it's the right side of your body, and it's the left side of your body, and it's the right side of your brain. So that is the Ida channel, which means the right brain is our more creative, intuitive, wisdom brain. And it corresponds to the left side of the body. The Pingala is the right side of one's body, and it corresponds to the left brain, which is more logical, more organized, more step-by-step, masculine, and it's also sympathetic nervous system. So there's this whole thing about everybody wants to enable their parasympathetic nervous system more because that's going to make me relax. And that's true. But really, we want parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems to be working perfectly in tandem. So it's not like, say I'm having a real crazy day and I'm really nervous and really stressed. Yes, I want to do practices that stimulate my parasympathetic nervous system just because I need to. It's going to regulate myself. But ultimately, we want these side channels to be totally balanced and for them to actually drop out and for the energy to appear in the central channel. So the central channel is called the Sushumna, and this is also called in Tantra the fire that ends the world. And the idea is that when our side channels are balanced and we're not in our right or left, that fire of Kundalini burns the way our normal eyes were seeing things. And we have this mystical, saintly vision of ourselves and the world and everything as a continuum. And so logically, we might know that. Intuitively, we might feel that. But then when we really have the Kundalini rising, we are that. And that's samadhi. So let's not confuse that we only want parasympathetic. We want them balanced. Okay, so now how to feel the placement of the Ida channel is the soft palate. So that feeling like the sound of your breath is going up into the soft palate is a nice practice. But also we can do one of the most valuable mudras called Kechari mudra. Kechari mudra, now you can practice, is taking the tip of your tongue back to the roof of your mouth. And the first thing, it will glide along the upper teeth, then glide it back to the hard palate. And that might be as far as you can go. Maybe you can go further. Maybe you can stick your tongue up to the soft palate. And then there's a little thing that hangs down like a beak or a horn. That's called the uvula. If you open your mouth wide, you'll see it in the mirror. And I'm sending you a handout tonight or tomorrow with the picture of that. That is the marma point as well. It's called Shringataka. Shringa means a deer, and I think the other part must mean a horn. So you'll see if you open your mouth wide, this little hanging thing. And what we want to do with Kechari mudra is stick our tongue back there and suck on that uvula. And some people even say stick the tongue up towards the brain behind the soft palate. At my level, I'm just trying to touch my soft palate. And if I really roll my tongue, and so it's just the tip of my tongue, I cannot suck. But if I kind of fold the last third of my tongue, I can roll that last third back and I can actually suck. Not very long, but see if you can do that. See if you can kind of take the last third of your tongue tip and roll it back and suck. And you'll feel, if you can, it kind of pulls down. And again, myth, practice, reality, it's what our minds make it to be. So if we have a very pure mind, we might feel bliss right now. We might feel totally blissed out. So this is the place of the moon. It's also the place of our internal ability to get soma. And I've had a lot of teachers talk about what soma really is because it is kind of myth. But Dr. Laud used to say it's neurotransmitters that a well-organized, happy brain is releasing to make us have the mood of being happy, being blissful, being generous, being all those good qualities we all want to be all the time, but we find ourselves in life and it doesn't always work out that easily. So, and the mantra for Khechari Mudra is Shreem. So it's all creating this really nice, perfect circle. This movement, Khechari Mudra, is good for concentration. It enhances our meditation. And it's the crossroads for the 5 sensory organs. I've heard some people say 4, but I really think it's the skin as well. So it's behind the eyes, the ears, the mouth, the tongue, the nose. It's kind of like a crossroads, that uvula. And then if we feel like we can barely get our tongue to the roof of the palate, we can also do an external marma point. This marma point is called also Shringataka, and it's the infraorbital foramen. And that is right here. So if you feel your cheekbones and where your cheekbones connect to your nose, right under that cheekbone, at the front of it, near your nose, you might find a tender spot. This spot is tender on me, and I'm making circles that are clockwise with my fingers. For marma points, we generally do clockwise and both sides. So this not only helps me to find that lunar channel and the neurotransmitters, but it's also excellent for any sensory organ problem. And generally like 1 to 3 minutes is a good amount of time to spend on one marma point. And of course, you can do it with oil. My nails are a little bit long, so this feels kind of a little tricky. Don't want to poke my face too much. But this is also really good to release wrinkles. And a lot of us, as we age, get this wrinkle from the nose to the mouth line. I have it. So that helps to release that and kind of give you a little facelift there. Okay, now, before we move on to the actual Chandra Namaskar, I want everybody to make sure they're sitting in a comfortable place. So I've been sitting with the same cross-legged place. So I'm going to switch my legs. Just get into your meditation pose. And fantasize that this whole month that you will be noticing the phases of the moon, right? Close your eyes. So the moon is just a teeny sliver tonight, if even that, right? Last night was the dark moon. And then in 2 weeks, it will have grown each night. And in 2 weeks, it will be the full moon. And this next 2 weeks is the most important time for recognizing how you need nourishment in your life, or if that nourishment means beauty, or if it means bliss, or it means joy or relaxation, or any of those feminine energies, cooling, like what's not serving you, but what more could be serving you. Now, so it could be food, It could be being in nature more. It could be a specific relationship or some way you act within many relationships that's maybe nourishing or maybe not nourishing. It could be kinship, which we're all kind of needing because of COVID, having kinship, having a family that's like-minded. It could be compassion, beauty. So just sit for a second, and if you can remember one of those mantras that you enjoyed, you could kind of have a Manas mantra moment and just ask yourself. You're not saying, you're asking, like, what do I need? Where do I need more nourishment in my life? And if you smile at some thought that you have, that's probably a good place to go for. Um, uh, I feel like if I get more nourishment, I'll then be able to give more nourishment. So don't think of this as a selfish thing. Probably the better we feel, the better we're going to make everybody feel, and the whole world is going to feel that vibe. Okay, so lastly, some more common benefits from the Chandra Namaskar is that it dispels heat. So if there is heat, it often accumulates in our liver, in our spleen, in our gastrointestinal tract. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on this area, opening and closing through these shapes. And so that's going to really stimulate a lot of cleansing in this area, and cleansing will cool the blood. And cool blood is what we want. All of our tissues will be happier, more beautiful, more longevity if they are cooled down. Also, this benefits spiritual materialism. So there is a lot of people doing really good things in the world with yoga and meditation and helping others, and that can make people want to be more like that in a materialistic way. And then, you know, all of a sudden we've lost the real yoga, and we're just trying to, you know, show off our handstand on social media, or, you know, lots of ways that spiritual materialism can show up, show its face. And polarization, when we think we're right and other people are wrong, you know, that's kind of a materialism, like my way is the right way. And it's not like we don't use discrimination, but we don't try to proselytize. Okay, so that Chandra Namaskar can help that if you ever feel that you're telling everybody else or what they should be doing, or you think you know what everybody else should be doing. Okay, ladies and gents, are we ready for the shapes of the moon? So you want to have your yoga props and everything. And the first shape we're going to take is the crescent moon shape. And we're going to do that a lot with our spine. And I call it sometimes the C shape. So I'm going to have you guys get into Virasana. So Virasana is the pose of the yogic hero. I'm using a blanket. You could also use a bolster or a block, depending on how much height you need. My knees are together. Let's see. My knees are together, and I'm opening my feet, and I'm placing my cushion underneath my seat. And so I have a pretty low cushion, but you could have a much higher cushion, or you could even have a super high cushion. You don't want to hurt your knees. Okay, so whatever is comfortable for you. So then, sorry, got to get this screen right. So then, put your hands on your waist, breathing in and breathing out. And you're going to kind of feel your thumbs in the back and see if you can just touch your thumbs and your index fingers and the other fingers in the front, and they can come, you can circle your waist. That's the full moon waist there. Okay, now below your thumbs is your lumbar spine, right? And there's 5 lumbar spines, so you can kind of feel those. And below your 5th lumbar spine is your sacrum. And if you open your fingers, I'm going to turn so in case you're watching. If you open your fingers, you will feel your sacrum, which is a triangular shape, and the kind of attachment to the ilium, to the hip. Put your fingers there, and we're going to press the sacrum forward, okay? And as soon as you do that, the pubic bone will go back, and as you can see with my chest, the chest will start to stick out. Now you need to lift your navel, or else your lower back might start to hurt if I have this belly and it's just hanging. So press your sacrum forward and lift your navel. That should really feel nice on your lumbar spine. Now use your thoracic muscles and roll the back muscles towards the spine. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. So the trapezius pulls the scapula down, and that's, we want them down. And then as you can see this and feel in your body, you're making this crescent shape. And then take your arms and interlace your fingers behind your skull and see if you can increase that opening in the chest by pulling your elbows way back. Really feel now as you reach your arms up that your spine is making that sliver shape of the moon. Inhale, exhale, breathing into it. Feel that you're not just arching your spine, but you're having this muscular protection for your spine to open. And then come center and stay in Virasana and interlace the last 3 fingers of your hands. So your arms are reaching up, and my index finger and my thumb are going upward. Now we're going to make that crescent shape sideways. So we're going to reach over to the left and stretch our right side. And sometimes I like to take my left hand and push my left ribs towards the right. So again, there's the crescent moon shape. Breathing into that right side, stretching the breath into the ribs, the intercostals, the armpits, the sternum. So what often happens with tight shoulders is the arms start to fall forward. Use those muscles of your thoracic back to keep your chest open. And then inhale, come center. And exhale over to the right, stretching the left side. And if you want to, like I like to do, I just stick my hand underneath my breast, underneath my chest, and I push those ribs kind of gently to the left. And then that whole side opens up more than if I didn't use my hands. And again, careful of the shoulders, feel that thoracic muscular part of our back protecting. And then inhale, come straight up. And then exhale, release. Good. Now, come off your support and come onto your hands and knees. And we're just going to stretch the right leg into plank. And take your time, because we were in that Virasana, which is great for the psoas opening, gentle psoas opening. It is good for the knees, but sometimes you need a slow release. And you can put that knee down and then stretch the other leg into plank. And start to get a feeling of your core. The important part of centering in the moon salutation, you can add both feet together, is that there's a lot of balancing and challenges when we step one leg forward from a crescent shape, and it gets a little tricky, and we need a lot of strong proprioception. So just, we don't ever do this pose in the Chandra Namaskar, but it's good to just kind of vibe your core here, or your bandhas. Okay, gently place your knees down and open your knees, and we're gonna try that, again, that crescent shape in our spine. So we're gonna take our sacrum forward. We're gonna pull our navel up, so we're not letting our belly hang. We're gonna pull our shoulders up, back, and down. And as soon as I pull my shoulders down, I feel my back muscles really engage. And I'm not just moving my spine, but I'm muscularly supporting my spine. And then the chin can lift up. So this is the crescent shape in my spine, or we often call it extension. And then exhale, come into child's pose. So child's pose is a slight release, but it's not like we're going way into flexion. We're just doing a release. And lift your hips up a little bit. And if you have a sticky mat, it's kind of nice to walk your hands slightly forward. And then as you reach your hips back, instead of letting your hands slide back with you, see if you can lengthen your armpits and feel that nice gentle stretch in the armpits by just holding on to your mat. Good, and then come up onto your shins. So we're gonna come from child's pose. We're gonna push our shins down. So we really don't wanna think about our knees lifting us up. We wanna think shins going down into the earth and quads and thighs starting to engage. And now my glutes are really engaged once I'm fully up. And I'm gonna take my hands again on my sacrum, and I'm gonna push my sacrum forward. Now, I gotta lift my navel when I do that to protect the lower back, and lift my chest, roll my shoulders up, back, and down. And again, I'm making the crescent shape with my spine. And then come back into child's pose. Inhale, come up, using your legs back onto your hands and knees. And now if you have blocks, grab your blocks, and you're gonna step one foot forward in between your blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can have your hands on the floor, no problem. It just is so much more space and room to have the blocks here. So the same thing, my right foot is forward, my left glute and my sacrum are pressing forward. And that's really stretching the top of the left thigh, stretching the right hamstring. Now pull the belly inward, almost like you're lifting your pubic bone up. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. And here's another crescent shape. Don't worry if your neck doesn't like bending backward. Just keep looking forward. You can still do the crescent shape. You don't have to have the head. Come back, and let's try the same thing with our arms. So you're gonna reach your arms out, up, and then squeeze the sacrum forward, lift the lower belly, pubic bone up, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest up, and arch back. Good. Then hands on the floor. Now this movement, all these movements are part of the Chandra Namaskar. Come back up onto the shins. Use your quads, use your glutes to rise up. Take your thumbs. So we don't really use our hands here. I'm just doing all this, pressing the sacrum forward so you can really get a feeling of how that feels good. Lifting the glutes as long as you lift the belly. Let's take the arms here. So the arms will go up and go back. And that's an inhale. Then exhale into child's pose again. And inhale, use your legs, use your glutes. Rise up, arch back, come center, lift your navel. This is the proprioception. Release the left foot forward. And so you're going to grab your blocks again. We're on the second side. I'm going to take my sacrum forward, squeeze that right glute, feel the back body engaging, reach the arms up and back. I hope you're feeling like it's nice, like you like that feeling, okay? Now release the blocks, press the palms, come back, and come up. Sometimes we come up, sometimes we go into child's pose. Squeeze, try this with the arms, reach the arms up, and then exhale into child, okay? Now from child, we're gonna move forward into a Sphinx kind of stretch. So I'm here. If you want to watch the first one, I really want to pull my shoulders back as I lean forward and come to bring my chest on the floor, kind of like an inchworm. And then I'm going to slide out to the earth, and we're going to get a bolster or a couple blankets. So give that a go. From child, you'll come slightly up, roll your shoulders back, and slide out into cobra. Okay, so I'm going to use my tailbone in cobra, press down, and I'm going to take my bolster, or you can fold a couple blankets, and they're going to be folded kind of like a bolster, and I'm going to take my bolster so it's supporting my rib cage, right? And then my elbows are right underneath my shoulders. Now, this pose can really upset some people's lower backs if they don't have these things intact. So what are the things you need? You need your coccyx, your tailbone, to be pressing down, sacrum pressing forward, lift your lower belly, pubic bone slightly up, press your elbows, roll your shoulders back and down, lift your chest up. So this is kind of a mix between a Sphinx and a cobra. And this is stretching your liver, it's stretching your spleen, gallbladder, GI tract. And I love to do this pose with a bolster. It just feels so much easier. But that being said, let's roll the bolster out of the way. Take the hands so that the fingers are just below the shoulder tips, forehead on the floor. Stretch your legs parallel, hip width apart. Stretch your coccyx, tailbone down. Inhale, don't use your arms to come up. Use the muscles of your back. Take the back muscles in towards the spine and forward. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, lift the navel, lift the hips, push back into child's pose. Try that movement, those two movements a couple times. So you're going to roll your shoulders down as you slide out, inchworm along the earth. Inhale, use your back muscles, glutes, cobra. Exhale, pull the navel in, go back, stretch the whole spine opposite in child's pose. One more time, come up only a little bit. Pull the shoulders back, hips up. A little push up to the heart, slide out like an inchworm, and roll the shoulders back, cobra. Exhale, back to child's pose. And find your breath if you've lost your breath. See if you feel cool or hot, charged or relaxed. Inhale, couple more practices here. Come up, Take your sacrum. Now let's try it with the arms. So you're doing Ustrasana, camel pose with the arms. Now come back onto your left shin and see if you can release your right foot forward to lunge and catch with your hands. So that's one of the movements there. Let's try that going the opposite direction. So you're gonna push off your foot and exhale into child. Inhale, lift up, arch back, Ustrasana with arms. Come center, shift onto your right shin, release your left foot, and catch yourself. Inhale, come up into lunge, tuck the right toes, and push forward. So this next pose, we're gonna do squatting pose. And we're gonna do this a couple times. And with squatting pose, I'm gonna show you with a blanket. And I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna show you backwards so you can see. I'm gonna have my heels up on the blanket and see if I can come into squatting pose. Some people might not be able to do this, and that's okay. You can even try with a block and coming in like you have high heels. High heels always, it's really easy to squat in high heels. Okay, so this is squatting pose. I call it crouching tiger. Remember that movie, Crouching Tiger? Like a Tai Chi movie, I think. Anyway, so here is my crouching tiger pose. Now, some people want to do this with their feet wide and their toes out and their knees in. This is pretty dangerous pose. Kids hang out in this pose, but they're kids. So you either want to have feet parallel, and you don't have to have your heels on the floor. You can have your heels off the floor. You could be like this, but you don't want your knees to be going in one direction and the toes to be going in another direction. That's pretty unsafe. Ideally, the feet are together, the knees are together, and you're like this. But this is pretty challenging. So you can have your hands on the floor to help you. You can have your feet open to help you. But really notice that you don't take your knees out, toes in, or knees in, toes out. Those are both pretty dangerous because the knee is a hinge and it really likes to stay in this range of movement. Okay, everybody, so here's the little practice. So we're gonna go from this pose, and you can have the hands on the floor, and then we're gonna inhale and push the feet down, engage the legs, straighten the legs, and lift up till your legs are straight and your spine is pretty much straight, to the best of your ability. That's an inhale. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. So this is, Uttanasana is intense standing forward bend. Legs straight, head down. And then again, inhale, stretch into the Trini pose in the Ashtanga, or legs straight, spine straight. And then exhale, see if you can come into crouching tiger, with or without the hands in prayer pose. And again, push the feet down, inhale, extend the spine, extend the legs. Exhale, Uttanasana, head towards the shins. Inhale, stretch legs, stretch spine. Exhale, crouching tiger. Once more. Inhale, stretch legs, stretch spine. Exhale, fold Uttanasana, head towards feet. Inhale, unfold, stretch legs, stretch spine. Exhale, crouching tiger. Okay, now the step practice. So there's two big steps. The first one being from crouching tiger, you lift your butt up a little bit and you slide one foot back into the lunge pose. And you inhale, lift the arms over the head. So that can all be done with or without the hands. Eventually, it's without the hands. So you go from here in crouching tiger, you lift up, you swing back. Woo, I demonstrated so poorly. And then arch back. Okay, and then the other step is coming from here. You tuck your back toes under and you swing forward and come back into crouching tiger. So let's try those a couple times. So come into your crouching tiger with your feet parallel and your knees over your feet. First, inhale, stretch legs into Trini pose, straight spine. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, stretch into Trini. Exhale into crouching tiger. Now let's all put our fingertips on the floor and lift up a little bit. Take the right leg way back, knee down, toes pointed, and inhale, press your sacrum forward, lift your belly, use your back muscles, rise up. Tuck your back toes under, use your arms, swing forward, and exhale into crouching tiger. Inhale again, extend legs, extend the spine. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, extend legs and spine. Exhale, crouching tiger. Left side, unless you already did left, then right. Use your hands to begin with, lift up a little bit. Take the left leg way back. Knee down, toes pointed, arms up and back. Okay, then tuck the toes back there. And this happens on an inhale. You swing the arms, the leg forward, and crouch. Let's just do that. So we'll just swing, lift, take the right leg back, swing back, tuck the right toes, swing forward. Inhale, left leg back, point, arch, tuck left toes, and forward. Inhale, right, back, lunge, arch, tuck, swing forward. Now, if you're having challenges, use your hands the whole time. Just keep your hands down and don't worry about fulfilling that arch pose yet. Because that arch is pretty hard in some ways. So just try to get a feeling of your thighs. Like, I really feel like this is a very strong quadricep booty workout. So try to feel that you're keeping your knees over your toes and staying safe. Okay, inhale. Everybody stretch legs and stretch spine. Trini pose. And then exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, come on up. Woo, and we're in Tadasana. Okay, so Tadasana, hang out here and close your eyes and try to roll your tongue backward to the soft palate and just see like how you're feeling. So the Ida, or the lunar channel, is a reflective channel. And we do reflect. We really feel that, what's going on. We don't just charge ahead like the sun channel. Okay, feel your balance between your right and left. Take your hands again to your sacrum. Press your sacrum forward. Lift your belly up. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And make the whole crescent shape with your whole body. Reach the arms up, next to the ears, arch back. Inhale, come center. Interlace the last 3 fingers. And once again, reach yourself over to the left and make a side or a lateral crescent shape. And you can release your left hand and push your ribs out to the right. And inhale, come up and go to the second side. I can get so much deeper if I take my hand and push those ribs. So we're learning how to adjust ourselves since we're not in the studio. Inhale, come up. Good. Now try taking your right arm. I'm going to go on my knees just so you can see me, but everybody else stay standing. And rotate that arm backward. Sorry. Yeah, it's my right arm, but will look like my left arm. And see if you can catch your hands behind your, if you can't, you can catch your yoga tights or t-shirt. And what we want to do is really open that armpit. So you're going to try the same thing. Press the sacrum, take the shoulders back, use the muscles of the thoracic spine, and arch in the crescent, really opening that right shoulder. And then releasing. And then the other left arm, I'm grabbing hold and I'm rotating that arm bone in, bending that elbow, reaching the other arm back. If I can't catch, I'll catch a strap or my t-shirt. And so these arms are called Gomukh Asana arms. Go means cow. So again, there's a lot of themes in this Chandra Namaskar that are showing themselves as we practice. Okay, everybody doing okay? I'm going to switch to see everybody at the same time. Okay, great. So we're going to add all these steps together. And, I'm going to use my hands to make all the transitions at first. And you might want to stay with that. And then as we go deeper and deeper into the series, you might want to start to see, and I'll kind of cue you in, when you can just have your arms free, but it is a lot of proprioception. Really be careful when you're making those steps back and forward, and you're coming up on your shins, that you're using your leg muscles and you're not falling into your knee joints. All righty? And then we'll see how much time we can do with a little music. It's 5:04. Okay, so we don't got tons of time, but we got a little time. Okay, so here we go. So standing at the front of your mat, Chandra Namaskar. Try to feel a sense of release, whiteness, darkness, that earthy quality to your stance, to your presence. Bring your hands in Anjali Mudra. With your inhale, lift the arms up and back, crescent shape. With your exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. With your inhale, stretch legs, stretch spine. With your exhale, hold on, crouching tiger. Eventually, we'll have our hands off the floor. With your inhale, lift up, take your right leg back, knee on the floor, toes pointed. Take an extra breath if you need to, so you're arching back on the inhale. Exhale, the hands come next to your left foot. Push your hands and your left shin back. Rise up on your shins. You don't have to use your arms here if you're not quite ready. Arch back. Exhale, child's pose. Keep the shoulders down, away from your ears. As you inhale, inchworm out and come into cobra. Hips are on the floor. Exhale, back into child's pose. Inhale, back up onto the shins, using the arms up or on your waist if that feels safer. Come center, push into your left shin and reach your right leg forward. Eventually, we'll reach right up into an inhale, arching back. Tuck your left toes. Eventually, we won't use our hands here. We'll push off that left foot and come into squatting pose, crouching tiger. Inhale, extend legs and spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up, crescent shape. Exhale, undulate. Okay, so that was one half side. So now we're gonna do the left side. Inhale, up, back, arch. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen legs and spine. Exhale, keep your hands on the floor if you need to, or bring them to Anjali Mudra, crouching tiger. Then push in your right foot so you can release your left leg back, knee down, toes point, arch back. Exhale, all you do on this pose is put your hands down. Inhale, use your hands to push both shins back, arch up, back, open. Exhale, come into child's pose. Now you're inchworming as your shoulders are away from your ears. Slide forward, come into cobra. Feel your tailbone pressing, your lower belly lifting, your arch in your chest. Exhale, child. Inhale, up on both shins. Arch back. Exhale, release the left foot. Catch yourself. Inhale, stay low. Arch back. This is a little challenging. Tuck the right toes. On an exhale, swing forward into crouching tiger. You can have the hands on the floor. Inhale, use your feet. Press into straight legs, stretch straight spine. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up. Keep the sacrum pressing forward, but lift your belly. Lift your muscles of your back. Exhale, hands at the heart. Great, keep going. Inhale, up, arch. Exhale, forward and down. Inhale, lengthen legs, lengthen spine. Exhale, crouching tiger. Keep the hands on the floor if you need to. Release the right leg, take it back, arch. Exhale, put your hands on either side of the left foot. Push both shins back, rise up on your shins, use your glutes, lift up and arch back. Exhale, pull in to come into child's pose. Inhale, shoulders down, slide out, inchworm, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. We're just reversing it now. We're just coming back up onto the shins, which we had just come from. We're releasing the right foot forward, which we had taken back first. We're inhaling, arching the chest, tucking the back toes, pushing, using our hands if we need to, crouching tiger. Inhale, extending legs and spine. Exhale, fold. Now we're gonna come into the left side without pausing. So we're gonna come up, back, exhale, come forward and down. Inhale, lengthen legs and spine. Exhale, crouching tiger. Inhale, push into your right foot so you can release your left foot. Knee down, toes point, belly lifts. Exhale, both hands on either side of the right foot. Push the right foot, rise up onto the shins. You can always put your hands on your waist to protect you. Exhale, pull the belly in, child's pose. Inhale, shoulders down, slide out, belly lifts up, back muscles engage. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release the left foot into lunge. So this is legal. We get to have our hands down at this moment. The next moment, arms up and back. And this is the transition that's pretty challenging. The right toes tuck under. If you want to, just take your hands down first and then push forward into crouching tiger. Inhale, use your leg muscles to rise up. Straight leg, straight spine. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, arch back. Exhale, hands at the heart. Okay, how's everybody doing? Thumbs up. Are you getting to kind of understand? Do you have a question, Sarah? Anybody have a question? Just unmute yourself if you do.
Lisa?
Yeah.
For crouching tiger, my heels want to go up like you showed in the beginning of the pose, but my heels are supposed to be flat on the floor. Is that right?
If you can, but a lot of people can't do that with their heels on the floor.
No, it's just more challenging, but
you can.
Yeah.
So try to.
Okay.
The most important thing in the crouching tiger pose is that the knee is not going away from the direction that the toes are going. Okay, Sabrina? Great. Anybody else? Okay, so I'm gonna keep calling it out, but I thought I'd put a little music on in the background. And we get a couple rounds of just going a little faster. Don't worry if you're confused. Most of us are, so join the club. I'm gonna just shift onto a little music here. Oops, where's my list? Okay, come into Samastitihi. Oh, I lost my music list. Breathing, say your mantra while I find this. Okay. Great, feet together. Feel that you're saluting inwardly to the moon and externally to the new moon. Hands at the heart. Squeeze your glutes. Feel your femur bones pressing opposite the way your glutes are. So you have a strong, firm leg. Lower belly lifts. Inhale, first movement. Reach up and back. Exhale, second movement. Reach forward and down. Inhale, third movement, just like Ashtanga, straight leg, straight spine. Exhale, crouching tiger. Inhale, right leg back, knee down, toes point, arms up, back, arch. Exhale, hands by the left foot. Both shins back, arch up, onto your shins, Ustrasana. Exhale, child's pose. Shoulders down, slide out, slide forward, cobra. Exhale, child. Strong legs, rise up, Ustrasana. Release, right foot forward, catch yourself. Inhale, arch up and back, tuck the left toes, push forward, you need your hands, crouching tiger. Inhale, legs and spine straight. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, back. Exhale, prayer. Left side, inhale. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen legs and spine. Exhale, crouching tiger. Inhale, release left leg back, arch. Exhale, runner's pose. hands down. Push both shins back. Rise up onto the shins, arch. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, shoulders down, slide out, slide forward, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, use your thigh muscles, come up. Ustrasana, feel your glutes. Pull your belly in. Release your left foot. Lunge pose, catch yourself. Arch back. Tuck the right toes. Swing, crouching tiger. Inhale, extend legs and spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arch up, arch back. Exhale, back to zero. This time we're going to skip the in-between Anjali Mudra. Arms up, arms back. Second pose, Uttanasana. Third pose, straight leg, straight spine. Fourth pose, crouching tiger. Fifth pose, right leg back, arch up. Exhale, both hands next to the left foot. Push both shins back, arch up, arch back. Exhale, child's pose. Shoulders down, inhale, slide out. Cobra. Exhale, child. Rise up on the shins. Ustrasana with arms. Exhale, push into your left shin to release the right foot forward, catch yourself. Inhale, arch, tuck the left toes, thrust the left leg forward, and lower, crouching tiger. Inhale, use the leg muscles, stretch legs and spine straight. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale. Now we're going to skip the middle pose. So we're going to come up, arch back, and go directly to the left side. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen legs and spine. Exhale, crouching tiger. Inhale, left leg reaches back, knees down, toes pointed, arch back if you can. Exhale, catch yourself. Both your hands, shift both shins back, rise up on both shins. If your lower back hurts, just have your hands on your waist so you don't have too much weight to challenge your spine. Exhale, child's pose. Shoulders down, inhale, slide out to cobra. Exhale, back to child. Inhale, rise up on the shins, arch up. Exhale, release the left foot forward, catching yourself. Inhale, arms up and back. To me, this is one of the hardest transitions. Your back here, your back toes are touched, and you have to swing it forward and come into crouching tiger. Inhale, push legs to spine to straight. Exhale, enjoy your Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, arch back. Exhale, prayer pose. Again, just close your eyes. Maybe mentally chant one of those mantras, even if it's just the stream. Now we're just gonna do shoulder stand, and we're gonna finish with a couple seated poses. So shoulder stand is the queen of all the asanas and stimulates the lunar channel. So I like to use blankets underneath my shoulders. You certainly don't have to. It's personally what your neck and shoulders feel good in. So I've got my blankets, so the fringy side is away from my shoulders. If you don't need blankets, just lie down. The shoulders stand. Okay, my head's on the floor, my shoulders stay on the blanket. Then I'm going to use my belly, pull my hips up, pull my legs up, and start to make our way into shoulder stand. So stay up, try to inch up so that you're really on top of your shoulders, rolling your shoulders back, trying to lift your heart up, squeeze your glutes, femur bones back, point your toenails towards the sky. So every breath you could exhale shreem. Now tilt your toes behind your head a little, release your hands, and slowly roll your spine down. If you have carpets, once you get down all the way, you're probably going to want to remove them. And we're going to make that C curve, like crescent shape, in Matsyasana. I'm using my elbows to hoist my chest up. I'm going to roll my chin back, take the top of my head down to the floor, and release that gripping of my arms, bring my palms to face up. And again, it's the same crescent shape in the spine. Opening the heart.
When she moved to the light of day.
And then reach down, catch your glutes, press your elbows, lift your head up enough so you can release it down to the floor. Just rest for a moment. Taking rest in corpse pose. Let your palms face up. Breathing in and breathing out. And then let the sound of your breath choose a mantra. Shreem is the first one we did. Auspiciousness, feminine qualities. Om Som Somaya Namaha is the second mantra, which is for nourishment. And those lunar rays benefiting our hot tendencies. And the last mantra, Om Shram Shrim Shraum Sa Chandraya Namaha. This is for those of us who need to recognize beauty inwardly and externally. Now release all your sensory organs and feel like there's a meeting point, that your eyes drop back, your ears drop in, your tongue moves back. The sense of smell is back deep. See if you can feel like all those sensory organs come together at that uvula, and feel that your soft palate is released and open, which means it would be moving up towards your brain. Try to perceive the chemicals, the hormones, the neurotransmitters that the pituitary, the pineal gland are releasing, like serotonin. And those of you in New York City, it's probably dark out by now. So the pineal gland is secreting melatonin. And just notice if you feel a sense of coolness, a sense of wetness, lubrication, and being totally honest if that's not what you're feeling. If you're feeling hot, agitated, or fiery, honor that truth. Let your breath relax, and in that relaxed breath, as you breathe up into the brain, think of the brain as a muscle. And like any muscle, if we focus on it, we can relax it. So see if when you inhale slowly, at the very top of your inhale, you can relax the tension in your brain. And feel that moon nectar dropping down the spine, cerebral spinal fluid, ojas, and giving every single cell of your being this nourishment. With your next exhale, place your hands on your heart. Place your left foot on the floor as you bend your left knee. And gently rolling over to the right. So this is opening up the left nostril, which is connected to the right brain, which is stimulating our lunar energy. And we almost always do that in yoga class because we want to feel that relaxed, intuitive energy as we move through our lives. So come on up. And I just want to give you one more item tonight, which is the heart mudra, or the Hridayam mudra. And so that's if you take your index finger and you roll it into your palm. And then you take your thumb and your next two fingers and connect them. And then your pinky finger and it kind of looks like a little bit of a deer's head, and the pinky finger will lift up. So this is the heart mudra, and it's to connect us to that place in our heart that deeply, so that when we really think about like, how do I need nourishment, or how do I want to give nourishment, it comes from a very deep place, and it's not superficial. Because believe me, I can be very superficial at times. And I can be very deep at times, and that's just part of who I am. I don't think of it as a bad thing or a good thing, but this Hridaya mudra is for the depth of our being. So just let your hands, so the backs of your hands rest on your thighs. And we'll chant the one of each of those mantras to close. Om Shrim Om Som Somaya Namaha. Om Shram Shrim Shram Sa Chandraya Namaha. Namaste. Anybody have any questions?
That was beautiful.
It is really nice. Anybody have any problems with their low back?
I did.
Yeah, okay. So it is getting used to it. We often don't take that big extension curve with our arms over our head in all those different positions. So really just think about these different concepts that I was explaining about really lifting the navel when we take that crescent moon. That will help support the lower back. Another thing is squeezing your glutes. Really feel that as my glutes squeeze, my legs don't give in. So I'll just demonstrate. You don't want this to happen. Squeeze glutes, sacrum forward, but then my legs all go forward. I have to kind of think that the femur bones, I'm pushing them that way as I'm squeezing my glutes and tailbone this way. Lift my belly. See how much different that is once I lift my belly? And then this is going straight up, not like this. We have to use those muscles of the upper back. Don't take a very deep arc until you start to get those principles in action. And then it should feel great for your back. Like I've been doing the Chandra Namaskar all year, and just like 3 of them every day after my sun salutations. And it really feels great. And if you have all those concepts in place, I think your lower back's gonna be okay. That's the thing to be concerned about, is that, and that the knees don't get too worn and torn. Any other questions? You all look so beautiful.
Thank you, Lisa. That was really amazing.
Yes, thank you so
So
much.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to post this. We'll see how my skills are.